Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, August 12th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Now, our September 2022 edition of The Voice, which of course is our Mass Retirees newsletter. It was mailed today. It's on the way to your mailboxes right now. Here is a sneak preview. We just received them in the office on Thursday. I really can't be prouder of, first of all, the work that goes into this, but also the headline, 5% COLA. Our local retirees, we have 29 retirement systems who have been working extremely hard this year, and all 29 systems increase their COLA base for local retirees. But before I get into all of those details and talk about some of the content that's in here that you can look forward to, give you a little bit of a sneak preview, I first want to say thank you to the nearly 4,000 members who last Friday took the time to participate in our Mass Retirees Teletown Hall meeting. As I said, we had 4,000 members thereabouts join us on the call. It lasted nearly 90 minutes. We had a bunch of great questions come in from members. So it was just a really positive meeting. So for those of you who did participate, thank you. If you weren't able to make it, most of the information, if not all of the information we talked about, is right here in the newsletter. Now, going forward, we're going to continue to hold these Teletown Hall meetings really indefinitely. They're proven to be super popular. It enables all of our members, regardless of where you are or what your schedule is or what your ability is to get out of the house and physically attend a meeting. It allows you to participate in everything that's going on with Mass Retirees. It also allows you the chance to ask us questions directly, interact with us, and really that's what we're all about. We want to, in addition to advocating for you and trying to improve the lives of retirees, we also want to provide an informational service of getting you factual, timely information about your retirement, about health insurance, and really a lot of the information that we report on cannot be found anywhere else. And that's because we're strictly focused on public retirement and public retirement policy. Now, the second thing I wanted to say thank you for is myself and Frank Valeri and other members of our team have received numerous phone calls and emails and so forth over the past week from a number of members expressing their support for our policy when it comes to weapon GPO. Now, you know, last week's email message in this video was all about weapon GPO and the struggle between full repeal of these two terrible laws versus finding a path forward for reform. And one of the great strengths of this association is our membership. It's really our greatest strength. And one of the reasons for that is the background and the experience and the expertise of our members. As retired public employees, a great number of you were involved in politics and in many cases still are. You have a deep knowledge of government and how the system works, and you also follow these issues very closely. And a number of you were either active in the unions and sat yourselves at the collective bargaining table, or perhaps you're on the other side of the table as management. But at the end of the day, you know that all of this is about give and take. You know that it's about compromise. And you can read the tea leaves, and you yourselves were heavily involved, and many of you have been in the same situations that we find ourselves in right now. So the feedback and the guidance and the words of encouragement that we have received from you, I can't thank you enough. It means a lot to me. I continue to learn from you. I appreciate it, and I know the rest of our staff here does as well as our association officers, and in particular Frank Valeri, who also has a number of these ongoing conversations. I know that regardless of what we do, it's impossible to satisfy everyone and keep everyone happy. Everybody has their own opinions, of course, and we respect that. But we need to do what we believe is in the best interest of our membership as a whole, based on our experience and our expertise and our day-to-day interactions with policymakers. But I just wanted to single that out and say thank you, because it means a lot. The other thing that means a lot is the work that goes into this newsletter 6 times a year, and I cannot thank Bill Reary and Nancy Delaney and our friends Jim Crone and Jeff Jordan over at Chameleon Design Group for the work that goes into this. It's a labor of love. We do all of the content creation, all of the writing here in-house, and our friends at Chameleon make it look absolutely stunning. Every issue that comes out is great, and I would put this newsletter up against any other publication that comes out of a similar type. And I also want to thank our colleagues down at Standard Modern. They're a union print shop here in Massachusetts. They are great partners in terms of getting this newsletter out and a lot of the other print material you see from us. But as I said at the outset, the headline of a 5% COLA is the largest increase in 30 years. We have to lead with that. We also have to lead and give credit where it's due to the 29 local retirement systems, as I just said a moment ago, who have worked very hard and very closely with their local legislative bodies and the local governing authorities to make this happen and get more money in our members and our retirees' pockets starting this July. Now, unfortunately, we still have a handful of systems out there that remain at the $12,000 base that was first put in place 24 years ago, back in 1998, and we've singled out 5 of those systems in this newsletter. And we don't do that, to spot anybody or to be mean, but after 24 years, which is nearly a quarter of a century, and you'll see from the newsletter that these 5 systems have done pretty well over the past 24 years, and that they are in a strong financial position that should enable them to treat their retirees a little bit better than what's happening within these communities right now. And again, we're not saying this to spot anybody, but we want to encourage these systems to do right by their local retirees and take the steps to share the success of the systems, just as all of the other retirement boards are continuing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's the money is there to pay for this. The retirement systems are established to benefit the members of the system. That's it. It's as simple as that. So if you have the money in the system, you're supposed to be spending it reasonably, of course, but to benefit the members of the system. So that can be found, I believe, on page 4. We also have, again, Frank and I penned an editorial, which if you read last week's email message about weapon GPO, then you already know what it is we have to say on those topics. We also have the meeting notice for our annual meeting. Now, it's been 3 years since we've held an annual meeting. We're going to do so this September, on September 9th. It's the Friday after Labor Day. We will be meeting at Lombardo's in Randolph at 11 a.m. And it's open to all members. Now, of course, with the ongoing pandemic and the continuation of health concerns, we're going to be as careful as we can. We're working with Lombardo's. There's plenty of room in their meeting hall. Their ventilation systems are excellent. So we're comfortable that we can hold the meeting in person and do so safely, but it's certainly up to all of our individual members of whether or not you want to be part of this and be part of a large group for an hour or an hour and a half. We're also taking steps to record the video, and our intention is to broadcast the meeting live on our Mass Retirees YouTube channel during the meeting on September 9th. But at the very least, the meeting will be recorded. We'll put it up on YouTube. We'll put it on the Mass Retirees website. So for those members who cannot attend in person, you can still have a way to participate virtually. We also have a great announcement that Frank Valeri, our association president, has chosen to run for re-election to the State Retirement Board. Frank is a great asset to all members, whether you be an active state employee or a retiree who are members of the state retirement system. There are very few people in Massachusetts, or really anywhere, that possess Frank's deep knowledge and background of government, retirement policy, politics, and combine all that with an ongoing drive and just fire in the belly for public service. So again, he's a fantastic asset. I am thrilled that he has chosen to run for re-election to the state board, and you can hear directly from Frank on page 4. Page 4 also contains a legislative update of the activities at the end of the formal legislative session. We also have a bunch of information once again on retiree health insurance benefits, whether it's the GIC's new online portal that will allow members to make changes to and manage their health insurance benefits through the GIC online rather than having to go through more of a cumbersome paper system, although paper is still going to be available. Excuse me, but there's a full report on the GIC's new portal in the newsletter. We also report on the retiree dental plan, the recent enrollment data, and so forth. And then our center spread this month on pages 10 and 11 is an endorsement of primary election candidates here in Massachusetts, whether they be statewide candidates, legislative candidates, or in some cases, county candidates. And as we explain in great detail, the process that we use in determining, excuse me, frog in my throat, the process that we use in determining who to endorse is very simple. And it comes down to just one basic criteria: whether or not that candidate actively supports public retirees and the issues directly important to public retirees. And taking it one step further, by support, we don't simply mean signing their name onto a bill or voting in favor of a bill when it comes to the floor of the House or the Senate, which those things are, excuse me, extremely important. But what's even more important is the process leading up to that. And we want to be sure that that candidate, if they are in elected office, is going to do everything they can to make sure that you are a priority and that you're not forgotten in the work that's being taken place behind the scenes, in caucus, in private meetings, is being done so to advance the legislation that's important to all of us. So when you look at this list, all of these candidates reflect that criteria. We do not consider at all party affiliation or issues that are not directly related to public retirement. So if you're looking for a candidate that has a certain position on a social issue or taxes or something that's unrelated, those things might be important to you or important to the general public, but they're not part of our mission and our focus as an association representing retired public employees. You're free to vote for whomever you'd like. That's your right. All we're doing is saying that from a retirement standpoint, these are the individuals that we think are the best fit when it comes to public retirement policy. So with that, I'm going to sign off for the week. Once you receive the newsletter, of course, if you have questions or concerns, feel free to call me or Frank or any member of our team if you have something specific that you would like to talk about. In addition, we're going to be taking a bit of a hiatus. For me to get over this cough, but all joking aside, we're going to take a hiatus. We're in the dog days of August, dog days of summer. We're going to take a break for the next couple of weeks in terms of these weekly messages and updating our hotline. We'll still be working here in the office at 11 Beacon Street. That's where I am right now. So if you need us, we're just a phone call away. But in terms of updates, we're going to hold off until September 2nd, which is 2 Fridays from now. Friday, September 2nd, there'll be a brand new update. However, if there's any breaking news in the meantime, we'll be sure to get that out to you via email. We'll be also on our website and our Facebook page. But enjoy what is left of summer. It flies by far too fast. Stay safe. And we'll talk to you again really soon. Bye-bye.